Hey, welcome back to Policing Matters on policeone.com. I am your host, and I am here in Grapevine, Texas at the Motorola Summit 2025. It is the Motorola Solutions Premier Technology Users Conference attended by more than 500 public safety agencies across the country. This is a key opportunity for in-depth technology discussions, demonstrations, and training, including what we're talking about here today as a mobile-first approach. To dive into what it entails, I'm joined by Monique Turner, Information Systems Manager at the Los Angeles Police Department, and Dave Wilson, retired Assistant Police Chief and Senior Solutions Specialist with Motorola Solutions. Welcome.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Great to have you both. Dave and Monique, can you set the stage for us? When did LAPD's vision for a mobile-first approach begin?
I would say that it started about 5 years ago under our current CIO, Deputy Chief John McMahon. He really wanted to push the idea of mobility for LAPD officers. We had phones for body-worn camera, but that was really it. And so his initiative really pushing out applications and really under the guise of any new application, how can it be used on a mobile phone? His analogy that he would commonly use is, if I could do taxes on a cell phone, I can take a report. And so that was basically our mantra moving forward with any type of mobility within LAPD.
Yeah, right. And, I teach at a university, and a lot of students are writing their papers on a phone. So it makes sense to transition policing to the thing that we're carrying every day.
Correct, yes.
So what were the key points for challenges that LAPD was hoping to address by moving away from traditional paper-based reporting and embracing the mobile technology?
For us, our records management system was a 35-year-old plus application that runs on the mainframe, completely paper-based. So transitioning to a new records management system was one of the main initiatives. It helped us get data in a timely manner. Key example for our field interview cards, typically it took anywhere between 30 to 60 days to get an FI card into the system. Today, it's done right at the scene. That information is pushed immediately into our system so that our investigators can be able to use that information for any type of analysis.
Right, so you really cut down on the duplication of effort, the delays.
And missing data altogether, because who knows what data was not entered into the system.
Yeah, so I bet the paper storage facilities are really mad at us these days.
I'm sure they are.
Okay, so Dave, as a former officer, what's the impact of being able to use the tech tools that you use at home, out in the field during the shift? How does the data pushed to your phone change your decisions in the field?
Yeah, it's a great question. And, we're talking about report writing, but really from that first response, that first 911 call when you're responding, that once you exit your car, you should have the tools available to help you be, one, safer, but more efficient at what you're doing. And just think about showing up at a school or an apartment building and trying to find the right apartment or right room and having that mobility on your phone that you could see a floor plan or see the data associated with the call, maybe a photograph of the suspect. Now that's all possible. So you can call 911, report an emergency. You can send a photograph over the 911 call to the first responders. And then, as Monique mentioned, you're collecting that data. Now I need to write a report or summarize what happened there, and I just take the data that's already entered, and it's there for you. And she mentioned Chief McMahon, and I really appreciated the vision of LAPD, and certainly built a great team, which Monique's a part of, and it makes a difference. And that's really where agencies are progressive. They're seeing that phone that, as you mentioned, you can do your taxes on, or many other things, should be no different than saving people's lives by responding to incidents, so you have all that data available to you.
Yeah, and to the officer on the street, the bottom line, that front-facing part of the agency, I mean, it can cut down on so many problems that we've seen in the past. Go into the wrong address, like you just mentioned, or trying to detain a suspect who's not the suspect.
Yeah. And think about when, if an officer, the worst outcome could happen is, where your fellow officers are. If you're a public safety agency and you're responding with the fire department, you can share data with other first responders. So it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, that's a great example. And we lose sight sometimes of being a public safety family when we include other agencies like fire and EMS.
Right. And I go back to Los Angeles Police Department, massive agency, lots going on in Los Angeles. And if an agency that large can make things happen. And I remember speaking to Chief McMahon, and he said he challenges technology companies as well. Say, you need to produce this data and these solutions that help first responders, and almost demanding it. And thank God, because I think it really helped change the industry quite a bit, making sure that we're giving the tools to those first responders to help them do their jobs.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Monique, a mobile first approach gives your agencies rich data. What impact could this have on admin work?
It's on multiple levels on the impact for administrative staff. So from a data entry perspective, that data is done by the officers. So quicker turnaround time in getting that information in. From an investigative perspective, the detectives has that information almost immediately, so then they can start doing their work. From a reporting perspective, we're getting the information in a timely manner so that we can give it to our command staff so they can make those executive decisions. Whereas it would take months to figure out what's going on, they can have it in days, if not during that particular shift. So the transition from paper-based to mobility is a great way for us to collect that information. And the other side of it is we are a shrinking we're having shrinking resources with administrative staff. So technology will be able to get us over that hump with lack of resources.
Yeah, 100%. Fill in the gap. Dave and Monique, if other agencies listening are considering making the move to mobile, what advice would you have for them?
Do it. I think the most important thing is about education and outreach. You have to keep promoting the good and the use of phones. We all carry a phone today. It's just we're using it for work. And there will always be naysayers out there saying, it's not a good tool. But we just have to continue to show the progress that we're making with using these mobile technology.
Yeah. Dave, a follow-up. What about sensitive information? Any hazards there? You run into any challenges that way?
Yeah, certainly, it's highly regulated about data going over, and there's a program in mobile security devices. Certainly most departments have that already loaded on their phone. But it also shouldn't be a blocker for you. Think of all the data you have on your phone now, banking, credit card information. Public safety data is confidential, but it should not hinder your ability to do your job. And I think everyone's starting to realize that now. And it kind of piggyback on what Monique said is that you hire today's police officer, unlike when we were hired, they demand technology. I mean, they grew up with it. It's in their day-to-day life. And frankly, if they go to an agency that's very slow to adopt emerging technologies, they tend to go elsewhere because they want to see that. And then frankly, it just makes them more efficient at their jobs. I think agencies that really use mobile first, they're seeing that cases are getting solved more efficiently, that response times are decreasing because you're getting that first responder there quickly. So it does make a difference.
Yeah, Monique, what are the side benefits that you didn't expect from going mobile?
I think really just the buy-in, right? There was this fear that no one they wouldn't want to use their phone, but people really embraced it. And they are happy that they actually have this tool. So they're out in the field instead of having to come inside to do any type of reporting. And they're asking and they're demanding for more applications. And so we're building out an application. It's how can I get it on the mobile device first?
Yeah, but there's a limit, isn't there, of how much they can consume on that phone? We still want cops heads up in the field, right? Dave, any officer safety issues there?
Yeah, and it's there is a concern, right? We want them to pay attention to the bad guy, and we don't want them to be distracted by their phone. But most police, it's like the old days. They're writing on an FI card, so their hands are down. So now they have voice assistants that you can speak into your phone and fill out the form or fill out a narrative that helps you quite a bit. And I think it's not just data that you see when you get on scene, but it starts when that first call comes out, the 911 data, the video information that you're getting. So it's really incredible amount of data that is available to you that you don't really realize until you're using it. And to Monique's thing about buy-in, agencies that are using it, they're seeing positive use cases, and that's what makes them say, if my partner just had a great use case yesterday, maybe I should start doing what they're doing. And it makes a big difference.
Right.
I choked you up.
You did.
It was so powerful.
Excuse me. You did. You choked me up. Dave Wilson, Monique Turner, thanks so much for taking time with us today to explain about mobile policing.
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
Thank you so